Right, thank you, guys. I really appreciate you having me, and I'm sorry couldn't be able to be here there in person. So, as you mentioned, survivor of apostasy and blasphemy law in Sudan, and also family law, because I was arrested on. I was called into the police station by my half brothers and the authority. And it's when I walked into the police station, I was informed that the choices that I made to grow up, to practice my Christian faith and to marry to Christian man was against the law in my country. It's Sharia law. So a little that I know that I have never committed any crime or anything that's, to deserve to be in prison. And that's what the law in my country and many other countries. And during the trial, I experienced lots of injustice, and I witnessed a lot of injustice that is happening to other women in a similar situation as mine, or in a different situation, but all in their Sharia law, and because they are women. So one of the things that I was informed is by the law in my country considered me a Muslim because my father was a Muslim. So and my mother have no right to raise me as a Christian, and was clearly by that time when I was at the court, my mother already passed away. But if she is alive, she will face criminal charges for raising me as a Christian. So this is situation happening for many women and for many Christian girls and women in Islamic countries. And so because the law is made to not to protect people, but mostly to harm and restrict and control the way people live their lives. And I spent months in prison along with my toddler son. And I was pregnant at that time. I gave birth to my daughter in prison and it was very challenging situation. It was very, a hard situation for me as a mother to witness what is my children have to experience. The other thing also, by the law, my children are considered illegitimate because the court considered them came to life in a wrong way, because the first charge I was charged with was adultery, and the court determined my marriage at the church was invalid. So, and as a girl, I'm not supposed to, to process marriage for myself, because, it's have to happen through guardian, and that guardian have to be from my father's side, either my half brothers or my father, my uncles, or someone like that. So for me, by going to do marriage as a church was something against the law. So that's why the court determined my marriage invalid and my children are illegitimate because I was charged with adultery. So it's and I remember the judge and the court officer and during the interrogation, the officer would repeatedly tell me that it's not normal for you to do that. That's not how it's supposed to happen, because we are Islamic country and we are Muslim and Christian. So if ever Christian man fall in love with a Muslim girl, he have to convert to Islam. And it's happened before many times. So why it just you? So it was opening eyes for me. And at the end of the trial, and when I came out of prison and I was able to see the advocacy work and the effort that have been put up on my case, I realized that my case actually opened eyes for and brought up realities, because that's, even though it was happening 9 years ago or 8 years ago, it is still, because I consider it my past, but it is still today, and it is still present for many women and girls, because of these laws and because of the injustice that is happening. So, and I get to understand exactly, from my side as a believer, I do believe God has got his hand on me and my children during that difficult times, but also God uses situation and things like that to bring truth to light. So, and I'm really grateful for this gathering and for the effort and the work you do. It's so much needed and it's so much important for many religious minority and Christian. I can say that mostly in many Islamic countries, because sometimes when cases like my case came up and it have to involve Islamic law, many people get offended and get afraid to come to, to condemn the wrongdoing of country like Sudan or other countries like Nigeria now, what Christian girls face in Nigeria. People always be afraid, but I'm really grateful and encouraged to see some efforts from groups like you guys. So highlighting these issues and gathering together to discuss what happening somewhere else that is never, you never experienced, but you have a heart. When I see this, lack of experience may not be a problem, but lack of empathy. But this is something I'm really grateful to witness as of today, with so much, suffering, and so many Christians are facing persecution and oppression and injustice in many countries like Sudan, Egypt, Nigeria, and Pakistan. So there's so much needed work like what you guys do, and it's so much appreciated. So one of the things that I really wanted to see, not just especially when we have leaders and grow from the parliamentarian, or when they go and sit with those leaders from these countries that are oppressing and persecuting a Christian, we must confront them and tell them exactly what they are doing, because the truth needs to be told. And if we did not truthfully identify the problem and put it out on the table, there's no solution would happen. We can't just keep, brushing everything under the rugs and just, because I can say that I'm not a good speaker and I'm not, I speak my heart. So, but when it's come to fancy and diplomatic word and talk, please bring up these people's name. Just put them out and speak up for them and highlight their stories. It is so much painful to witness the death of Deborah Samuel in Nigeria. And it's so much painful to speak to Rebecca, Leah Sharibu's mother, and ask her how she's doing. And I knew other mother exactly how she's doing and how she's feeling. As she cried out for many years for the world and for people to help bring her daughter back. The girl that's left home when she's only 14 years old. And as for today, she's turned 18 in her captivity and with 2 children. That's not much of the problem of her being there, because as Leah's situation, we witness sex trafficking happening, and we see it and we know who is in charge and who is responsible for it, but yet there's no any action is being taken. So please, when you go and you ever happen to meet those leaders and speak to them, bring these people's name to the discussion. Advocate for them, because that has happened. When I am in prison, I have so grateful to witness many leaders that are called out Sudan, and I ask them to let me and my children go. So whatever happened to me is the same needed to be happened to many of these people who are facing persecution. One of these young girls and young mothers that are facing persecution in these countries, the abduction of Christian girls in Pakistan, in India, in Nigeria. It is not right, and it has to be stopped. And there's so many efforts need to, it's happening, but there is more need to be done. So from my side, I would say that as a believer, we to pray. We also prayer with no work is not helping. So we pray and work. And as Satan uses the evil people to do his work and to do evil on earth, God uses his people also to bring justice and to do good work and to help the oppressed and the persecuted ones and the rejected one. Because like the Nigerian girls that have been really facing violence and abduction and sex trafficking, they are being rejected by us if we did not stand up for them. And if we reject the persecuted people, and if we reject the persecution, the persecuted church, we reject Christ every day as we witness the injustice that's happening today. So I'm grateful for you guys, and I hope this gathering will bring up more fruitful work and see more effort and more action is being taken as from now. Thank you and have a blessed one.